What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are starting our day here late because it is like sports season or something, and everybody was chilling in the garage watching baseball and basketball and all that. I didn't want to start recording with all the noise in the back. You know, if you're a sports fan, you know how it goes. So I've just kind of been buttoning up the car the last 2 days since the last video, and literally I found nearly everything I needed in the garage. You know, it took me 2 days because I was digging through every nooks and crannies of all of my toast boxes and everything, bins, to find all the little things that I need. And I want to show you guys the progress under the hood. It's almost done. Last you guys saw this, we didn't have anything up in the front. In the last video we did, I think we did the axles, we did the shocks and all of that, but under the hood we did the fluids, we did the motor mount, we did the intake arm. I was able to source all of this in my backyard. Surprisingly, all of these were still in my backyard. I found a fan and a radiator that came out of the H22 CRX because we had a drag style half core, and we have the stock fan all mounted up, wired up, all the hoses we found in the bin. I wrinkled black the valve cover while I was at it because it was kind of ugly. Throttle cable bracket, I just so happened to find an SI one that fitted perfect. I found a SI style idle air control valve, and what I mean by style is idle air control valve are two patterns for Hondas. There's a short pattern and a wide pattern. This is a wide pattern. Got all the hoses hooked up for that. Power steering is just chilling because we don't have the bracket, but I just came back from the junkyard. I got the power steering cooler from an EG. I got this bracket right here also from an EG, but same engine, D15B7, and I got the shifter bracket so we can install our shifter today, drill out the hole we need inside the tunnel so we can do our exhaust, which is what we're doing in today's video. There's no coolant in here just yet. I couldn't find a coolant reservoir in the junkyard. I don't have one, I don't think. Aside from that, we are making a ton of progress, guys. This thing is really close to firing over. It is open exhaust. I found the header in the backyard. I painted this shield black. I got the ground cable sorted out a little bit there. I found a power cable in my electrical box, and I mean, like I said, man, we are getting really close to getting this thing to turn on. So right now, I'm gonna gather the exhaust system real quick, figure out what I got, what I need to do, what I need to modify to get all of that in the car. So if you guys remember Bronson's Red EF hatch on the channel a couple months ago, we converted the car from a B series back to a single cam with a stock exhaust system. This came off of his car, and he converted that car back to stock so he can sell it running, and he gave me this exhaust system. So this is very similar to what was in my CRX before I realized it was 2 1/4 and not 2 1/2. I made 450 horsepower on that car with this exact same exhaust system that's sitting right here. So I'm using this one because that one is modified for all-wheel drive, and this is configured like a stock front-wheel drive car, going around the gas tank, over the LCA, then out the back bumper. So this is from eBay. I think you can get this for like 70 bucks or 100 and something with a test pipe. This one has a DIY test pipe, which I'm going to get rid of because you can see the transition from there to there to there to there. I'm going to get rid of that because I am going to be running a cat on this car, bone stock as possible, and then after that it just has pretty much what you call a cat back. So not sure why that's modified. I'm gonna have to stick this up into the car to figure out what I need to change to make this all work in this chassis, because this came off a hatch. So the thing about this eBay exhaust system is, I mean, that's going to deteriorate over time, and then it's going to become hollow, because that's what happened to mine. The thing about the eBay exhaust system is that they're mandrel bend. Mandrel meaning they aren't crush bent, which means they hold their full diameter on a turn. Crush bent is what you typically get from the exhaust shop. So if you get like a 3-inch, for an example, when you turn it, it comes down to like, I don't know, 2 1/2. You can see it right there where it changes the size on a bend. That happens because of the machine that they use. So the eBay exhaust system is good for the piping, let's say, and you can get yourself this for like really cheap, and then change your box resonator of your choice after that. It'll still be cheaper than buying like a Speed Factory pre-bent exhaust system or getting a full custom one. Don't get me wrong, I have the true bends on that car. The Speed Factory stuff is nice, but if you're on the budget per se, the eBay exhaust system it's good for its piping. And if it doesn't really bother you on how loud that may possibly be, $70 gets you a full exhaust system. Man, look at this flange. It is warped to smithereens. And if you look up there, all those pinholes is probably why this exhaust was super loud on that hatch. My goodness. What I also did notice is that the 3-bolt is right here, and this test pipe is in the wrong spot. So this is the mid section of the exhaust, right? That test pipe is supposed to be in the front. The 3-bolt is supposed to be in the front because it's supposed to connect to the stock cat, which is also 3 bolts. You can see right there, right? And I'm not sure why this is backward, but what I am going to do is I'm going to flip it. So I'm thinking that right there is supposed to connect to here, and then over to LCA. This is in the front, but this guy is warped, so I got to change that out. So before I get too deep into the exhaust system, I have to put the shift linkage up first, because the exhaust sits under the shift linkage, and RT four-wheel drive don't have that hole for the stabilizer shifter assembly right here. So I went to the junkyard, grabbed this off of a 92, 95. Actually, no, this was a 96 single cam, and apparently it's the same for an EF single cam. George told me this yesterday. I wasn't sure, so I went to the junkyard and snagged one. Sure enough, it lines up. It only uses 2 12mm, which are these guys right here. And I'm gonna get this up real quick. Then I'm gonna mock up the bar to know where I have to drill on the tunnel for the shifter. I'm gonna find it wherever it's dead centered. While I'm down here, go ahead and slap this donut on, just in case I forget that. Drilling the hole underneath the car with the hole saw, getting all that metal shard all over my freaking armpits. We got the hole for the stabilizer bar, got the skunk tooth shifter, and we got all the gears to go in without any bindage of, you know, as small as this hole is right here. The stabilizer bar doesn't really move. Got 2 bolts, washers secured, and that is ready for its center console. Man, that's kind of short, but it looks good. Thank you, Sal, for this once again, man. Weighted shift knob. So now I'm gonna go underneath the car and I'm gonna stick this cat on it so we can measure out our exhaust system and what needs to be modified. So when you put a cat on, if you put it on and not in a muffler shop, you gotta make sure that the number is facing down so that way they can check it right there. And this is a cat, not a test pipe, right? Because we are going to smog this car. So I got the bolts right here. I'm gonna go underneath the car real quick and bolt the sucker on. New day here, guys. So last night, my homies came by to check up on me, and I know a lot of you guys who follow me on Instagram probably saw my story. I went to the ER in the ambulance like 3 days ago, and what had happened was, I mean, I don't even know what happened. I was sleeping. I slept at 12:30. I woke up at 3 in the morning with chest pain, and I couldn't breathe. I was literally grasping for air for like 30-45 minutes with the help of my family to kind of calm me down, because I don't know what was going on. I started losing consciousness and started losing like my legs. I couldn't stand. So it was bad. My brother called the emergency, and the ambulance came, took me to the hospital at 4 in the morning, and I was there for 4.5 hours, going through a ton of tests, blood work, a lot of tests on me to figure out what was going on. By the time I was like mid-ride in the ambulance to the hospital, I, you know, kind of was conscious then, and you know, talking to the people who put me in there and stuff like that. By the time I got to the hospital in the emergency room, I was, you know, I was feeling okay. My chest was still hurting and stuff like that. What was going on with me wasn't there anymore by the time I got to the ER, so the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. But the way I was explaining it to them, they were thinking it was like a midsection cramp. So typically you have a cramp on your leg. I had a cramp in my midsection, which tightened up my muscle to the point of where my lungs weren't like expanding on the inhale. So that's why I was having a hard time. I panicked as well too, so it made my breathing much worse. So I was there for a little while, did all the tests, everything came out, you know, normal. Nothing was really wrong with me as far as all the testing went, so they didn't have any reason to hold me there any longer, so they released me. Then, you know, came back home, slept all day, didn't really wrench the next day, and then I came back into the garage to work on this car, which I explained to you guys what I did off camera because I couldn't just stay in my room. So they came by, they hung out with me yesterday, and didn't really get much done other than bolting up the cat and throwing on the midsection up until about right there. So right now I'm gonna get underneath the car in the rear. I'm gonna mount this and see how this fits in the rear of the car. Typically the wagon exhaust goes under the subframe and not over the LCA, but because our exhaust system is not configured that way, we're gonna go over the LCA. All right, so a lot of things wrong with this axle back. So I have this section right here to clear the LCA, which is typically what this giant bend is for. That puts the muffler about right here, and we are short to go out the back bumper like 5-6 inches or so. And right here to the midsection over there is way off. Lucy. But none of the hangers line up to where they need to go. Right, again, the wagon normally have their exhaust system going under the subframe right here, which is why this hanger is here and this hanger is right here. So I am gonna have to brainstorm this real quick and figure out what I need to cut, what I need to extend. I think I'm gonna work on the axle back first to get this guy to sit where it needs to be, and then we'll work our way to the midsection. So I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna have to place these new hangers. You know, the tip doesn't look too bad. It's like 1.5 inches in that I could extend out to have it right on the bumper, but this isn't that bad. So right now this is suspended on its own, and I got a bungee cord in the flange back there to keep it in that position so I can get this as straight as I could, and it doesn't hit anything. I mean, it sounds like it's hitting, if you shake it really hard, because it's not really connected over there yet, but it's actually just hitting the back motor mount right there that I'm going to take off, the bracket right there for the rear diff. I'll finalize all of these welds when I take all this back out, because I want to paint it black. This is too flashy for me. So now we're gonna move into the midsection. Hopefully it's not, I mean, it's not complicated, but I think that little extended piece on the mid pipe might actually even reach this. But granted, it's got a bunch of holes in it and the flanges might not be clocked correctly. So I'm gonna test fit that real quick. So all of this piping right here is from my CRX. So this is also the same kit as the one that we're installing on this car. And I got plenty of flanges on here to use. The midsection though, this is the midsection from the all-wheel drive CRX. And I'm gonna use this flange and I'm gonna cut it about here so we can take measurements to have extra meat in case we need to extend. And if we have to shorten, no big deal. So I already got the flanges cut off. This one right here, super warped, all crazy. And then I got this guy right here separated from the herpy pipe. And now I'm gonna go test fit this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna set up my welding machine just in case if I have to tack it underneath the car as of right now, because it's looking good, we'll do that. So I had to close up real quick. I'm gonna head to the storage to grab some wheels to lend off to Chad. Chad is in town. He wants to grab the wheels now so he can put it on his car, and then Sean is going to get his car into alignment rack because I think Chad has an earlier track date, so he's trying to prepare for that. I mean, these are like 80-85%. I don't have the gauge, but you can see the depth of this tire is still pretty good. These guys are a little worn out and slight camber, but these are probably going to go to the rear. These are going to go to the front. I'm not a track guy, so I don't know if it's better to have more tread in the back, but these are decent enough for him to use. So I'll go ahead and lock up and get on out of here. So I'm back here. I was chilling, chopping it up with Chad because he lives way up north, like what, 45 minutes or so. So we were just chopping it up. We lost a lot of daylight once again. So these are the wheels, like I said, that Chad is going to slap onto his car so Sean can do the alignment on it. And then your track day is on
17th, Saturday.
Next week.
Next weekend.
Next weekend. So unfortunately, like I said, I'm not racing that day because I don't have a rack and pinion. I need a new clutch, and I'm still in the process of registering, smogging, and insuring the KRX. Hell, I might even just make it out there just to be out there. Did they allow spectators at Thunder Hill right now?
Dude, you can take my car and drive it with you.
No, mames.
Yeah.
You're driving your car.
No, you're driving too.
We'll see. We'll
You're
see.
driving.
I mean, like I said, I'm always available to do shenanigans and stuff, so I can put all the stuff to the side and go to the track with these guys. But yeah. RPF1 reps, Dunlop Derezas DZ102s, 205 5015s, definitely going to be a lot better than those stock SIs on what?
Freaking General Ultimax RT43.
What are they, like 185s?
Yeah, 195.
195. 6014, the bubble tires.
Yeah.
No mames. I'm gonna go ahead and load these up real quick and then get that test pipe going, yeah? All right, next day, and you guys should already get used to this by now. My videos are combinations of a couple of days, and you know, just friends come over, we hang out. I either procrastinate or I just start the day super late where I don't want to show you guys in the dark. So last night after Chad left, I continued working on the car, but it was so dark I didn't want to show you guys stuff in the dark. So I got the mid pipe welded up right there. The exhaust is fully connected all the way to the rear axle back, and everything has a gasket in between. I had them lying around, so I figured I'd use it. And the back side, I painted the exhaust black, right? Kind of give it a little bit more stealth. Now I didn't extend the tip. I figured it's not that bad, and it's kind of sucked in a little bit, so you don't really see it too much. I did leave the tip chrome, but the rest of it is all black. Exhaust is nicely hanging on its own, doesn't rattle, and we're gonna turn this car on right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I turned it on like a couple of days ago without the exhaust, and this thing fired right over. But I haven't heard it with the exhaust yet, so you and I, we're gonna hear it together. Even though we have a skunk tooth short shifter in here with a tall shift knob, this thing looks super short. But every gear goes in, reverse, that's all that matters. Key in, power, that's weird. It does have an AM 340 in here, and it's really quiet. Let's go. Nothing. Battery pack. And we don't have any gas. Need to go buy some gas. Oh yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. No leaks? What's that squeaking noise? All right, guys, car is officially on with the new rebuilt engine with a full exhaust system. I do want to drive it. I don't have wheels for it. All of my wheels are in storage, and the 17s don't hold air. The front wheels are bent, so I can't even use those. But this is a big leap for me. So there's a lot of stuff to still button up with this car, guys, and I do want to get it to the smog station ASAP so we can get to the fun stuff. I do want to give you guys an exhaust test, but I don't know. But this is pretty much going to wrap up this video as far as the exhaust system goes, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for the fun stuff for this car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.